Welcome back. I'm Erin Paul. On Friday, students in Ontario took a stand against their premier's education plan. Tens of thousands walked out of class to protest the province's move to repeal the newer sex ed curriculum from 2015. Students are concerned that the older curriculum that they are being taught leaves out important topics like gender identity, sexting, and same-sex marriage. Time now for our Week in Review with Zoomer Radio AM 740's Neil Hedley and JC Douglas of C100 Halifax. Gentlemen, great to see you as always. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Erin.
Neil, I'll start with you because this is your home province. Yeah. What do you make of this show of solidarity?
Here's, first of all, I love this. I love the imagery of tens of thousands of students walking out and Doug Ford standing in the corner going, "You can't have any pudding if you don't eat your meat." I mean, it's the perfect flashback to my own childhood. But here's the thing. To my fellow Conservatives here in Ontario, I thought we rejected this when one of the other candidates in the Ontario PC leadership ran on exactly this idea, and we resoundingly defeated her as a random loon who probably shouldn't have been in the leadership race anyway. But here we are dealing with it now that the Ford government has decided that they want to make this the law.
JC, many kids, this is perhaps their first time of activism. I'll be honest, my kid was out there walking with them as well. What does it mean to have this young population so vocal on this issue that affects them?
Well, you know, for them, just to see that hashtag, "We do not consent," and see them use that as kind of their rallying call, I think it shows a wisdom beyond their years. It's wonderful to see. I'm not following Doug Ford's exploits too closely, but I do understand that he's invoking the notwithstanding clause in order to send Ontario back in time to 1998. So I think I've got that right. You know, I'm suspect of anyone who is, wants to take society back to an earlier social era. I mean, because even in '98, Ontario had an LGBT community. They were just ignored by schools. And now with social advancements in same-sex relationships and gender identity, I mean, this would really turn back the hands of time in schools, and LGBT students are left to get their education, what, on the street instead of from a dedicated teacher? Well, it's not on the right side of history, and I hope the Leafs do well this year so that Ontarians have something to keep their mind off of Doug Ford.
And JC's absolutely right, too, because, I mean, I've got a 14-year-old daughter, and this is exactly the sort of stuff that I wish she were learning in class. Instead, the Ontario government wants to teach our kids that interpersonal relationships are kind of like when Rob and Laura Petrie would sleep in separate beds and Laura had one foot on the floor so that she wouldn't get pregnant. I mean, come on, people.
Yeah, that's true. It is rolling it back to certainly issues, of same sex, of consent, such an important one, because we didn't have the cell phones and smartphones back then. Gentlemen, I got to move on to a next topic now. A health insurance company in the U.S. now offering special incentives. This is for people who wear those fitness trackers like a Fitbit. Oh, all right, Neil, we'll start with you. How do you feel about giving up your data for a break on insurance?
I think this is a great idea. I honestly, sorry, but I don't see a problem with it. You know, how many of us have ever actually paid $1 million worth of premiums into our life insurance policies? And yet we expect to get that $1 million when we croak. I think the insurance company has an entitlement to, protect their investment, as it were. If someone goes to the gym 3 times a week and works out and does whatever, they should probably pay a different rate than the person who never leaves the couch and has 7 bags of Cheetos for breakfast in the morning. That's just me.
Just you with the 7 bags of Cheetos. JC, let's talk about this because, car insurers already do this, but this particular move, it's every move that you're making. What are your privacy concerns here?
Well, I mean, privacy concerns, it's voluntary at this point, and I think we're going to start humble bragging our way to lower insurance rates. I don't have a huge problem with that. I think I'm with Neil on that. The Geico Gecko may be outdone by the John Hancock personal trainer. I'm not sure if that's the mascot they're going to go to. I like the fact that you can spin a wheel at a certain point and get discounts and gift cards to outdoor stores, fitness trackers, that kind of thing. It's like your own little reality game show, only the big winner is the insurance company. The longer you live, the more of your money they win. So.
Yeah, true.
Fair point. Okay, let's go to Europe now, shall we? This is where a UNESCO heritage site is getting overrun with tourists. We're talking about Dubrovnik in Croatia. That's, of course, one of the locations where Game of Thrones is shot. People love this show, obviously. Is it just a matter of time before a bucket list trip becomes a thing, JC?
Well, it's just overrunning that town. I mean, so I'm not sure how much fun it is for the tourists who get there and they're like banging into other tourists. But it's a problem that most tourism boards would only dream of, having way too many customers in town. I just imagine a destination like the beautiful little village of Chester, Nova Scotia, having like 13 cruise ships come and dock in a day and over 1 million visitors. It's suddenly thick with people. I'm just thinking that maybe with the change of seasons, maybe the numbers will decrease a little. And what I am saying is that winter is coming.
It is indeed. Ask the people of Edmonton that. Neil, what about the people who live there? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, one of the beautiful things about that area, if you've ever been there, is that it was quaint and quiet and everything else. And now that's been destroyed because to try and get, the shot that you're looking for or be in that environment, you got to elbow your way through all kinds of Hawaiian shirt wearing tourists to do it. Look, this started to become an even bigger thing, I think, once you started to see the selfie era, once there are people standing there going, hey, look at this great picture of me. Oh, that thing in the background, that's the Eiffel Tower. I mean, it's just, tourism has become an interesting thing in the Instagram age as we all look for the perfect backdrops so that we can make ourselves look even better and cooler than we are.
Couldn't look any better and cooler than the two of you, but that's all the time that we have for the Week in Review. Neil Hedley from Zoomer Radio AM 740 and JC Douglas of C100 Halifax. Thanks for your time, guys.
Thanks both.
Have a great weekend.